Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. So then, if you wanted to separate it like that, that's fine. Put the Egyptian art over there with the rest of the African art. Fuck out of here, y'all. California man charged with battery after hosing down unhoused woman. It went viral. This clip where this guy was in front of his, I think it was his shop, and it was a homeless lady sitting on the sidewalk in front of his shop, and he put the hose on her and was telling her to move, get up out of here. So, and that totally went viral. And I don't know, I was kind of avoiding this subject because this kind of thing kind of gets me all freaking emotional. But let's read this. It says, California man charged with battery after hosing down unhoused woman. An art gallery owner in San Francisco was arrested on January 18th after spraying a woman experiencing homelessness with a hose. Cell phone footage recorded on January 9th showed Colin Gwynn, 71, using a hose to directly spray the woman who was sitting on the sidewalk outside of the gallery with water. After several seconds, he stopped to tell her to move. Gwynn was charged with misdemeanor battery and could see up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine, according to the San Francisco DA's office. DeBrook Jenkins called his actions completely unacceptable. Gwynn admitted to CBS San Francisco that it was indeed him in the video, which went viral, was shared across several news outlets. What they saw is very regrettable, he said. I feel awful, not just because I want to get out of trouble or something like that, but because I'd put a tremendous amount of effort into helping this woman. The woman is now reportedly receiving assistance from the city's Department of Public Health.
So he might have helped her with that video, or going, like they actually did something. It pushed the people to do something to help her, but otherwise, without that attention, she might still be on the street or something like that. So, you have to kind of sometimes look at the benefits that actually came out of it instead of trying to be upset behind the water or this, that, and the third. Because
I just hate the way people view homeless people, and like the way they treat them is like they're less than human, and I won't feel, because he wouldn't have hosed down a regular person. He wouldn't have done that. He felt like he could get away with it, and so because it got videoed, so now he's in trouble.
well, you think he didn't ask the woman to leave before?
I'm sure he did. But that doesn't give him the right. Like, come on.
It doesn't give somebody else the right. Oh, I'm homeless, so this is the spot I've chosen, and screw you. I'm gonna stay where like. I mean, it's a lot of things that you got to look at too. Like, this is this man's property, and it's like,
It's not his property. It's the damn
if I
sidewalk. He don't own the sidewalk.
he owns the space in front of his drive, and yeah, like right there in front of his home, in front of his business, it's his property.
That's not his property. That's state public property.
Okay, so what are we going to do with this woman sitting here being stinky, being nasty, being homeless, sitting in front of his business, making people walk past his door? Is it okay that he ends up homeless now too because he can't keep his business open?
And I get that argument because it bothers me like a motherfucker. There's certain gas stations or stores that I don't stop at because they have too many people hanging out there asking for change and shit. And I just don't fucking want to deal with that shit. So yes, I can see how it could affect his business, but at the same time, that does not give him the right.
I had one guy roll up and try to fight me because I gave the cashier inside some lasagna, and he comes chasing me at me. Give me food, give me food, give me food. I mean, literally chasing me to the car. I had to stop getting in my car, close the door, and tell him, you really don't want to keep doing what you're doing right now.
Well, that's still, regardless, that does not justify this behavior.
but see, but that's the thing, and
He
I
was
think
about he
that's I
was
think
about to get
sometimes
a beat down. I think a little
say,
water
bro.
spray is kind of the
What,
nice way.
yeah, but
Mm-mm.
listen, because I think that you're looking at it one-sided because yeah, the homeless are in a bad position, but you also have to look at the fact that this person is violating your space, and you've been he was nice to her before and gave her a helping hand, but here it is now. It's like, okay, I have sympathy for you, but I won't be able to even help you after a while if I continue this and let you sit on my sidewalk, because people are not going to want to be here
That
because of you. you
that
know
that that person is a human being, and there's procedures that you go through. If she wasn't homeless and it was some other kind of situation, and they would
what
have called the police.
And
if we're
now,
talking
are
about
you
If
you're
we're talking
talking
about
about
California right now,
you're
the
talking
cops
about
are not
3 minutes?
coming. The
You're
cops are
not
not coming.
you're not talking about the 6 months that she had been
No,
there every day being asked to leave. Please don't
yeah,
be here.
no. See,
Please
that's
don't
the
leave
part that
here.
I think that's the part that he forget, that
We
he
don't
don't
know that she was
consider.
there for 6 months. Is that what they said in the story?
We didn't say, well, I mean, but you got to think there's a lot of situations where it has become that.
You're automatically putting her in the position of sainted woman being attacked.
I'm putting her in the position of a human being being attacked.
And what about him being a human being,
He
not wanting
what
her
about him?
around, telling
What
her
about him
before
being
he did
attacked?
that, telling her, leave, go away. I
Yeah,
don't want you
he's
in
being
my
attacked.
space.
Yes, he's being attacked as well.
There's got to be a better way to do this. Call the police. Go through the
Well,
proper procedures. Isn't that what they would
yeah,
tell any of us?
but that's the thing. Like, there's proper procedures too for like people in their position, because some of them, they choose not to go get the help that they need. They just, or they're too prideful. But like, you should go and try to achieve some kind of, you know, uh, what they said, she was housed. She needs to go look for housing.
We don't know the situation with this lady.
Oh,
How do
okay,
you know
okay,
that she?
but that's the same thing. We don't know the situation for this guy.
We know enough about his situation. We know he
No,
doesn't have mental health issues. How do we know that this lady wasn't having a mental health crisis?
well, we know that she allowed help from him, and then when he's saying that, okay, enough is enough. Like, I'm losing business because you are out here. I need you to move, and
So you spray
and
him
then
with the water hose,
and
and
for
that's
her
justifiable.
to assault him by saying, "I'm going nowhere," because that is an assault too.
That's not a physical assault.
It
She
doesn't matter, but
he
that's
physically assaulted her.
He sprayed
bro.
her with water.
That's an
Uh,
assault.
Say, bro. All right.
Okay, so
When
let
we
us
talk about
start
when we
charging
talk,
cops with assault for firing tear gas. Oh wait,
They,
why is it legal? It's the street, right? So if they fire tear gas, we should be able to sue them all, right? Because they're assaulting us now.
it is assault.
What's the rest of the story?
Yeah, well, we don't know. I mean, I don't want to dig any further. Let me read this one comment right here. It says, "No, he means it is regrettable. They saw him wantonly abuse a defensive woman who was already distressed and struggling. What would have been immeasurably better would have been to go get a warm meal and drink in the same amount of time it took to get the hose. He chose cruelty. 6 months isn't enough, nor is 2K for the trauma and damage he caused. Shameful excuse for a human." So y'all are defending this guy, but they locking him up. He's getting in trouble.
yeah, but this is another person just like us that don't know all the details, and they're just assuming because she's the homeless one that she's just defenseless, and she
Exactly.
didn't.
On a brief read of the situation, this dude is an ass that kind of needs to go to jail. But the truth is, all of this hatred and reaction, it's done without looking into it. It's just, hey, he did this. It's bullshit. You see 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes, like we do of these shootings and these police and stuff like that, and we don't have the story coming up to it yet. We're sitting here arguing about it.
Yeah,
Well, the
because the
cops
guy,
the cops
You
knew
know,
enough to want to fine him and send him to jail.
well, but that yeah, that's because of we got a public that's gonna be more, like because even if the roles were different, where this woman was in front of their house or in front of their business, and she's been there for who knows how long, because I mean that's the stuff that we're missing. We have to at least contemplate the fact that this might be an issue, an ongoing issue, and
see,
they said
we're
that
missing,
that he helped her before. And
and they
that
also are
and
saying
that's the thing. Uh, Well, hold on. One of the other problems is that a lot of times these people, because you have helped them, is what makes them feel like, oh, I should stay here so I can overuse this person that has, gone into into their health, their heart to try to help, and that now it's like, oh, well, shoot, this person has helped. I'm going to use this up as much as possible. Like y'all, like we gotta really understand better that just because somebody's, you gotta be respectful to everybody. You know what I'm saying? This business owner, he won't be able to help another homeless person before long because a lot of people are not going to choose to go to his business because this is what he's allowed to happen at his place. So
I'm just saying it could have been. There had to be a better way to go at it, and obviously the police agree with me on that.
actually, no, the police didn't. They decided to file charges on that. The way it went down is he was trying to get her to leave. She wouldn't. He actually called. Where does it say? He called the police department and the place you call in California for homeless problems and stuff like that. And while they were showing up, before they even showed up, he was telling her to move. She started screaming and throwing trash cans. Right after that was when the video picks up, when he's yelling at her, move, 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 and then sprays her. So you don't see her throwing trash cans and yelling and screaming at him.
Well, if she
So
assaulted him with a trash can, how come they didn't arrest her?
who says he assaulted her?
because
She assaulted. Throwing one and hitting someone with it are two different things.
because y'all goody
Stop,
two
stop.
shoes don't pay attention to everything like that.
You know. Now here's an even better thing about it. The Barbarossa Lounge. The guy doesn't even work there. The guy is kind of a dick. I can't condone the way this went down, but they're even saying he's helped this woman before. But she'd been sitting there for a past few weeks, refusing help, wanting to be left alone. The owners called the San Francisco Help Social Services, and the police wrote it all down and turned it in. It was picked up by the lawyers because of the complaints coming in over the viral feedback. Otherwise, everyone would have just walked their different ways and been done with it.
There goes the power of the internet.
And that's the part that I was saying. It's like, in a situation like this, we got to really look at the benefit of everything, because if it had not been for that order of those order of events, she would maybe still be homeless, or it wouldn't have been any other involvement from outsiders. You know what I'm saying?
So overall, we could say that, it was a horrible thing that happened, but it looks like it had good results.
He was an ass. She was not being cool either. And the internet outrage basically wins again.